I chose to study art at Howard University after meeting the fine art department professors. I felt that they would provide the best environment for me to grow as an artist because they're nurturing and very supportive of me discovering my own voice as well as developing a new body of work. And that's been very instrumental in my journey as an artist.
While I was here studying theater, we had to audition for plays and musical theater and things like that. It was about talent. It wasn't about how pretty you were, how light your skin was, how pretty your hair was. Could you hit this note and dance that jig and make the people laugh or weep or whatever? Do you have talent?
The night that I decided to stay and make it my own.
But what Howard instilled in me is a craft, a love for the craft of what I do.
Now try something different.
Do some Jimmy.
Close to the amount of kids that we need. Make it
The Department of Theater is dedicated to the principle of developing the highest quality of theater art and to the serious investigation and perpetuation of the experiences and aesthetics of Black theater.
Well, Afro Blue was like a really, really big part of my even wanting to apply. So I heard some good things about like scholarships that were available at Howard, and I just heard more about the different alumni that have come out of Howard and done great things in music. So I figured if it's going to be music, Howard's a great place.
Just the whole spirit of being a musician, of being serious about your craft. It's a wonderful thing here because they want you to be good.
The Department of Music attracts diverse students of high academic and artistic potential and provides them a scholarly environment and an exceptional musical experience through which to strengthen their musical crafts. To choose fine arts at Howard University is to choose a rich tradition of artistic inquiry, performance.
The most broken people can be great leaders.
His people did not call him general or king. They called him Kukulkan, the feather serpent god. Killing him will risk eternal war.
He's coming for the surface world.
We know what you whisper.
They've lost the protector. Now is our time to strike.
Show them who we are.
Art at Howard University is committed to educating socially conscious professional artists, designers, and scholars who have the ability to verbally and visually articulate their ideas in a technologically driven world.
I do want to make a picture that has an impact on the population.
I chose to study art at Howard University after meeting the fine art department professors. I felt that they would provide the best environment for me to grow as an artist because they're nurturing and very supportive of me discovering my own voice as well as developing a new body of work. And that's been very instrumental in my journey as an artist.
While I was here studying theater, we had to audition for plays and musical theater and things like that. It was about talent. It wasn't about how pretty you were, how light your skin was, how pretty your hair was. Could you hit this note and dance that jig and make the people laugh or weep or whatever? Do you have talent?
The night that I decided to stay and make my own.
But what Howard instilled in me is a craft, a love for the craft of what I do.
Now try something different.
We'll do some Jimmy.
The Department of Theater is dedicated to the principle of developing the highest quality of theater art and to the serious investigation and perpetuation of the experiences and aesthetics of Black theater.
Well, Afro Blue was like a really, really big part of my even wanting to apply. So I heard some good things about like scholarships that were available at Howard, and I just heard more about the different alumni that have come out of Howard and done great things in music. So I figured if it's going to be music, Howard's a great place.
Just the whole spirit of being a musician, of being serious about your craft. It's a wonderful thing here because they want you to be good.
The Department of Music attracts diverse students of high academic and artistic potential and provides them a scholarly environment and an exceptional musical experience through which to strengthen their musical crafts. To choose fine arts at Howard University is to choose a rich tradition of artistic inquiry, performance, and invention, joining in a legacy of knowledgeable, experienced students who are prepared to service the local and global society through creative pursuits.
Please welcome Darrell Booker, Microsoft Philanthropy's Corporate Affairs Specialist.
Hello, everyone. Who's excited to see the movie? Can I get a... Y'all got y'all tickets already? Wakanda Forever in theaters Friday? All right, hello, everyone. My name is Darrell Booker, and I want to give a special shout out to everyone who's here with us live today at the Chadwick A. Boseman College of Fine Arts at Howard University, and everyone else joining online for this truly change-making experience. Give yourself a round of applause. We're here today because Marvel challenged us at Xbox to go beyond helping with normal movie promotion, but instead, how can we help increase representation in STEM and gaming? With that said, last week we launched a Wakanda-inspired Make Code curriculum where learners can leverage Black Panther characters to create their own video game. We also launched Project Amplify, a video series featuring superheroes in gaming as they share their personal origin stories, advice, and teachings for inspiring a more equitable STEAM space. To learn more about Project Amplify and everything that we launch, visit xbox.com/Wakanda Forever. And what better person to join me on stage than one of those gaming superheroes featured in Project Amplify, my amazing Xbox colleague and Howard University alum, Q Muhanen. Come on out, Q. How you doing, Q? Good to see you as always.
Hey everyone, my name is Q Muhanen. I'm a program manager on the Xbox Experiences team. So essentially my role right now is helping to design some of the content that goes on the Xbox dashboard as well as the PC app. I work on a couple different things in my time at Xbox, including being on the platform side, helping with performance on the console, helping their games crash less, things like that. And I was also formerly a co-lead for the Xbox Black Employee Group. So one of the things I got to work on in that opportunity was helping to produce and create the Project Amplify videos Darrell mentioned.
All right, thanks for being here, Q. Really appreciate it. But first of all, y'all, can we please give this queen her flowers as a black woman in STEM and gaming? Let's acknowledge her iconic representation, please. So Q, what does it feel like to be back at Howard? It's your old stomping ground, right?
Yes, I love being here. It's a lot like when I go home to Philly. It just feels very nostalgic, very at peace, like where I belong. It sounds kind of cheesy to say. But like whenever I drive by and see like in the grill or food corners, like I remember grabbing meals there. I had a lot of support from my classmates, community, professors and stuff when I'm here, so I'm super grateful to have gone here and to be back and visit. It always makes my heart warm a little bit.
So you definitely recommend young folks apply at Howard University, right?
Yes.
All right.
Absolutely.
Well, everyone, we got a ton of fun things planned for you, including a special chance, a very, very special chance to win this exclusive limited Xbox Series X inspired by Black Panther Wakanda Forever. Can we get a round of applause? Like, is that not the dopest thing you ever seen? For a chance to win this Xbox, we want you to answer the following question. How would you change the world through STEM or gaming? Drop your answer in the YouTube comments section below, including your name, where you're from, and if you're a student, shout out your school using the hashtag Wakanda Forever, and then later in the broadcast, we'll announce the winner of this. I may try to take it home myself, but it's pretty dope. But no, we're gonna give this away to someone. But why are we here today at a HBCU? And especially Howard University. I think I could try to explain it, but I'll let a special person actually explain the importance of why we're here today.
Like Wakanda, in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, HBCUs like Howard University and its Chadwick A. Boseman College of Fine Arts are a testament to Black excellence. There, they prepare diverse, talented, and ambitious students to learn, lead, and embody excellence in truth and service. So today, we're joined by Professor Jacoby Du Bois of the Electronic Studio Department, who will lead us through a first-of-its-kind Wakanda Forever inspired course on coding and gaming. To see more on how Xbox is inspiring the next generation of gaming and STEM leaders, visit xbox.com/Wakanda Forever. Marvel Studios' Black Panther Wakanda Forever, only in theaters, November 11th.
How awesome is that? Letitia Wright, AKA Shuri, to be able to produce that video. Howard, y'all got about 106 HBCUs real mad at y'all right now for having that special thing. But how exciting is this? But let's kick off this change-making, first-of-its-kind event. I'm honored to introduce you to Professor Jacoby Du Bois. Professor, come on out. Good to see you, man.
Good to see you also.
I see you got your Wakanda gear on.
Yeah, man, you do too.
Yeah, this is the Wakanda Fall Collection, shopdisney.com, you know?
You know.
Yeah. Did you
I like it.
You see the Komoyo bees, though?
I need to borrow those.
Yeah.
Hello, everyone. How are you feeling today? All right, I like the sound of that. But you can give me a little bit more energy. How are you feeling today? Okay. First, I'd like to give a special shout out to all the students in the crowd, including the Chadwick A. Boseman College of Fine Arts. Yeah, y'all know how to do it right. Okay. And then we also have Duke Ellington School of the Arts. And a special welcome to everyone joining us online. Welcome. Okay, who here likes to play games? Any video gamers in here? Tell me your favorite video game. Shout out your favorite video game. Oh, wow.
Resident Evil, Call of Duty. What else we heard?
Pac-Man? Okay,
Pac-Man,
who's still playing Pac-Man today? Okay. Cool. We're going to get started with the Wakanda Forever game code. For those who want to get started with us, head over to the Make Code Challenge at aka.ms/Wakanda to code along with us. What I'm going to show you today is for all ages and skill sets. Anyone can do this, really, anyone. Even if you've never coded before, you're going to walk away with your own video game that you've created. And we want all of you to share your video game through social media using the hashtag #WakandaForever. Here are the things that you're going to learn today: the coding fundamentals and how art is infused in technology. All right? Let's get started.
All right. But Jacoby, wait a minute. So we have someone who would like to come out before we get started. You know, just like in the movie Wakanda, Angela Bassett character is the queen of Wakanda. I'm so excited to bring to the stage our esteemed guest, the queen of the Chadwick A. Boseman College of Fine Arts. Everyone, please stand up and welcome the one and only Dean Felicia Richard.
So I don't have to do an introduction because you know why you're here, right? All right, let's sit down and have our talk. Let's have our chat. Let me begin by suggesting to you, my friend, that you put that A in that STEM and call it STEAM.
STEAM, very important.
Right, because you're here talking about art, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Technology in art.
Yes.
Okay, ask me the question.
She got it straight, y'all, because we are at the College of Fine Arts, so let's be clear. So.
And you're talking about Wakanda Forever inspired.
Yes.
All right? It begins with art.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does. So much art in the movie, from, you know, set design to costume to you name it. So
to script.
To script.
To performance. Yes. Lighting, sound. It's all art.
All art. All art. Yes, and we would not be here today if it wasn't for the art. So I wanted to pivot a little bit, and I wanted to talk a little bit about tech. And, you know, since your time being here, how have you seen tech evolving here at Howard University?
Well, here at Howard, we've made some strides with technology, certainly, but there's a good road to go. I mean, it's in terms of it's equipment, you know, right? You can ask the students, they'll tell you that. Yes? Howard University students, yes?
Okay.
Yes. Yeah, equipment.
So, needless to say, the digital divide that affects this entire country, Howard isn't immune to it. You're still dealing with those same type of gaps.
Well, in some areas, yes. And in theater technology, certainly. We do have digital art here at Howard University. I don't see Professor McSwain. I don't know if he's here.
He's here.
Professor McSwain is the person who could really address this. And he is the one to whom you should be speaking.
Okay, I will make sure I get with Professor McSwain.
Yes. Professor McSwain, do you have anything you want to just add to this right now or say? Come on. That's all right. He's very low key. He's cool. Yeah, if you see him, you know he's cool.
So when we think about the gap in representation in gaming, I think it's somewhere around 86% of black teens play video games, but the game industry in general is only like roughly 2% black, and that's just tech in general. So how do you think that this needs to change, or how this can change?
Well, it's access and exposure, isn't it? How did you start?
Access and exposure. Being on Howard's campus and, you know.
And what happened?
I was going to career fairs and just trying to generally follow the guidance of my professors and stuff and trying to get an internship and things like that. And yeah, like I didn't know about all the opportunities that existed out there in the industry until I was on campus and being told about them through like career fairs and things like that.
And so you went to a career fair, and what happened?
Talked to recruiters, learned about the jobs and the roles that they had, and just started applying and attacking those opportunities.
And
I got the opportunity that I have now, working in Xbox.
Yeah, that's how it changes.
Yeah.
It changes through access and opportunity. Yes?
Yes.
Yes. And also a student's diligence in following up. Yes. Yes. Kudos to you.
Thank you.
Can you touch on that last point around diligence? Because as much as we need, organizations like an Xbox and a Microsoft coming to campuses, like you said, there's also a responsibility on those students to seek these type of roles and things that they need to do. Is there something you would say to all your students out there about that diligence that you mentioned?
There's so much that comes at students. Let's just be clear. The students have, especially in this college, and I could say this for every college and school, the programs are tight and they're robust. And the students have so much work to do. Well, added to that is upon hearing about an opportunity, is really seizing upon that and, going for it, or at least to see what it's about. Yeah, trying to stay with your ear to the ground about what's coming, what's going on. It isn't just in one area, it's all over the campus. And somehow things are interdisciplinary and related. You find that out for yourself. But yes, a student does have a responsibility to follow up on opportunities, to seize the day.
Wow, seize the day. I love that. I love that. Well, one more question. We'll get you out here. I know you got a busy day.
Yeah.
But what are your hopes for continuing to integrate technology right here within the Chadwick A. Boseman College of Fine Arts?
Thank you for asking that question. I would really like to see every department in every area well equipped with cutting-edge technology. Because technology does support what we do, but let's not make a mistake. Nothing takes the place of training. Nothing takes the place of study. But technology supports and augments what we do. It helps us to be in the present and forward into the future, as opposed to catching up or lagging behind. But the one thing about our students is they're so brilliant. I mean, they're just brilliant people. They come to us like that. So it's incumbent upon us to take that brilliance and move it forward.
Wow.
And the right technology supports us in doing just that. They deserve it.
You're exactly right. They deserve those tools. They deserve that tech so that they can be able to do what they got to do. So, on behalf of me and some of my colleagues sitting here in the front row who's on the front lines of making sure that we end that digital divide and making sure that we get technology to students, making sure that we get broadband access, we will do everything in our power to be able to help you out in your mission right here at the Chadwick A. Boseman College of Fine Arts.
And we thank you.
Thank you.
All
Thank you
right.
so much. Everyone, please, let's give Dean Felicia Rashad a round of applause. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Yes, you
Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
Louder, y'all. That's Dean Felicia Rashad. A lot of us grew up with her. All right, Jude Hovey.
All right. Wow, that was very powerful and inspiring for myself, as well as I know everyone else. So before we begin, I want to bring up to the stage two of my students, Niles and Alyssa. Just to give you some background about Niles and Alyssa, they are electronic studio majors in their junior year, currently studying 3D modeling and animation. Very great students. They're studying that here in the Chadwick A. Boseman College of Fine Arts. Thank you for helping us out today. I really appreciate it.
Thank y'all.
I might give y'all some extra credit. Maybe. All right. In this lesson, we are going to help Shuri, Okoye, and Riri escape Neymar. Let's take a closer look at our Make Code Arcade IDE to start designing our game. All right, in your toolbox, you will find categories to select. If you want to create a background, we're going to select a scene. So let's start with a scene, Niles. All right, we want to set our background image. So right now, Niles is selecting blocks, and these blocks are actually pieces of code. All right? So with setting the background image, what we're going to do is select the open box. I find this part to be, very interesting. You can select an image from the gallery, or you can use those artist-like skills of your own to design your own. Draw me a little something, Niles. All right, we got all the stars and hearts. Custom is usually the way I like to go, but I want you to go ahead and choose an image from the gallery, just to save us some time. All right, cool. I like this little forest going on here. All right, now we're going to go back to our handy toolbox. And Alyssa, I want you to select from the sprite menu. So sprites are the objects that we'll control on the screen that will be in our foreground. And Alyssa, I want you to drag the block that says set my sprite to sprite of kind player. And I want you to add that to the on start. All right, so everyone in the crowd listening online, pay attention here to the keywords on start and set. You're telling the computer to what you want it to do and how to do it. And guess what? You're already programming and you didn't even know it. This set sprite block tells our game we have a variable here, and our variable is named mySprite, right? And we want to set that to a specific input. And I think by now I'm pretty sure that you're thinking ahead, and you can see that variables can change depending on the conditions and instructions that you pass to the game. So Alyssa, let's change the name of our sprite to Shuri. So I want you to tap on mySprite, the variable name mySprite, and we're going to say rename. We're going to rename this variable. I want you to change that name to Shuri. Okay. Now that we've changed the name of our variable, I want you to select the image for the variable, and we're going to set it to the Shuri image in our asset library. So go to My Assets, and click Done. All right, so now we actually have Shuri inside of the background. Let's show the audience what that looks like. So we actually have a character in the scene, we have a background, and they can actually control this as we go along and add more code. All right, so now that you've learned the basics, let's look at a more complete version of the game. Niles and Alyssa are going to show you what it looks like now. So right now they're just going through the scenes, they're pressing A. Show us what that code looks like on the background. So in a more complete version of the game, you have your blocks that have come together. And as you can see, it looks like a lot, but you will actually learn what each block does. And just to show you what it looks like even further behind the scenes, if you click on the JavaScript tab, it will actually show you the JavaScript that each block produces. So you can not only learn through the graphics that are shown there on the screen, you can actually then translate those graphics into what even professional programmers are actually doing.
So hold up, Jacoby. I had to learn how to do this. You mean to tell me you can drag and drop on a big piece of screen now?
Absolutely.
Wow.
We both had to learn it this way. However, through the graphic interface, the pictures match up. It actually helps you retain that information a lot easier. So, let's proceed.
And this is great, and we're essentially at the foundational basics of building the game, correct?
Absolutely. This is the foundational place of building the game. And for our audience members and people that are online, if you started from where we started from, you can actually get to what we're doing in the end and all of this code just by continuing to work through the process, try everything out on your own. And we're going to show a few more features just coming up just after a few questions.
All right, so yes, we do have some questions. So Q, this question is actually coming in for you. It says, I'm a 13-year-old girl and I'm a huge gamer. Please tell me, how did you get your start in the gaming industry? You told us a little bit, but please elaborate more.
So I don't know if I mentioned this before, but like I just grew up playing games. I always had an interest in it, but I never really thought of a career in it simply because like you don't know what you don't know. I never, so it wasn't a matter of not believing I couldn't do it or anything. I just didn't know that there were jobs. And so being on Howard's campus and like I said, going to career fairs and having my professors and people around me tell me to like pursue internships and everything, I was able to learn about a lot of the different roles that were available. Tech companies would come here. Microsoft was one of them. And so I learned about the opportunities at Microsoft and applied for their internships. I got an internship and found out I was going to be in Xbox, and so I'm a program manager in Xbox. I was previously a software engineer, but I've spent my whole time like as a professional at Microsoft, and it was because I was exposed to them here on campus. So one thing that's super important to me, since I didn't learn about tech earlier, there are a lot of like middle school or high school curriculum that kids can get into. So I try whenever I go back and talk to students to let them know, like, hey, you can start dabbling with this now. You can learn, just search online. There's a bunch of like drag and drop coding tools like this. There's workshops and stuff your parents can get you involved in. So I try and let people know about the opportunities that are available.
And talk a little bit about those opportunities. You hinted at just some of the different career pathways in gaming. Right now we're kind of talking about like actually coding,
yeah.
But what else is there?
There's so many different parts of the games industry, right? Because games are kind of like a mix of art and tech. So there's writing, there's artists, like there's people who are making these background images, these character images, right? Someone's drawing that, someone's making 3D models and stuff when characters are created in games. So there's voice acting, there's, I think, script writing, things like that are all parts. Design.
There is a clear infusion of arts and tech. So when we think about, students that are going to classes here at this College of Fine Arts, or those that are inspiring, everything that they learn here can turn into what we call transferable skills. So they may come here for art or dance or music or writing and not necessarily know where they're going to do with it. You're basically saying all of those skills acquired right here at the Chadwick A. Boseman College can be applied in the gaming industry.
Absolutely, yeah, and even school, like if you're in marketing or school of business, like all that stuff, like gaming needs marketing. Like all of these things you can do in the games industry in some capacity.
All right, y'all, young kids out there, y'all hear that? Y'all hear that? All right, okay.
I would like to throw out some input there. So as Dean Rashad said, you have to be diligent. It's our responsibility as students and even faculty to follow up. And, I love hearing what Q is saying about transferable skills and how you both are talking about that. One thing that I tell my students all the time is there's that conventional path, but a lot of times with the arts, these jobs aren't seen on Indeed.com and Monster Jobs, if that's still a site, So, we have to go pursue these things and getting into the right place. And, sometimes the access is there easily, and sometimes we have to create our access.
And You bring up a great point. One thing that I'd be remiss if I didn't mention, what we're showing here today with this Make Code site is 100% free.
Free.
You know, so many times that access is restricted by, you know, people not being able to, you know, afford software and things of that. And we're definitely in a different place where you have tools like this that people can access, you know, for free, which, you know, there was a time when that, you know, had to be the elite, or, you know, elite from some standpoint of either your parents had money to get you in certain things, or you had to have a certain amount of equipment. We are truly at the age now of, as long as they have internet, Vicky, Jasmine, then they can be able to access things like this.
And you know what? You know, not to get off subject, actually this is on subject. You know, when I was a kid, we didn't have enough money to buy a computer. And my mom sacrificed, shout out to my mom, today's her birthday.
Shout out to Professor Mom, Mom Professor. Shout out to her.
So yeah, we didn't have the money at first to buy a computer, and my mom brought an encyclopedia set.
Right.
And, you know, so I started reading and reading and reading and reading, and then I got to that subject about computers, and I read more, and I was like, Mom, I really want to do this. So she started dropping me off at the library every day. And before I could even write a line of code, I read every coding book from cover to cover. And then I would draw out the things that I wanted to do when it came down to programming. So that's how I actually got my start. So now, you know, just like you said, these tools are free now.
Right.
And you can go anywhere with them if you just start.
And accessible from so many devices. You know, you don't necessarily have to be on a big screen. You can be on a regular computer, tablet, even your phone. You can actually access this. So everybody, definitely no excuse to not be coding your game. So I'm sorry, Jacoby, please continue your lecture.
All right, we're gonna jump back into the lecture. So now we're gonna jump into bringing sound into our game. So Niles and Alyssa, I want y'all to show the more complete game now, just again, so that people can see the actions behind the game. So what they're doing is they're using the keypad to actually control the movement of the characters. As we've shown before, you can create your own background. These characters are variables. We call these variable sprites. They're moving objects that we can actually give actions to. So now we're going to use our IDE, or Integrated Development Environment. And from there, we are going to show them how to add sounds at any place in the game, okay? So first we're going to start with more generic sounds. And if you can't hear these online, just know that you can continue doing this on your own device so that you can tap into it more. So Niles, I want you to add a sound to the guard. When the guard overlaps another sprite, so that's just basically saying when we have a variable named guard, and that variable overlaps or moves past another variable, we want it to make a sound. So when you bring it in from the sound library, we have it on a da-ding, but now I want you to change that sound. So here in MakeCode, they have a lot of preset sounds that you can actually choose from. So yeah, just select any sound that you want. So in the game, this is telling the game that anytime a guard overlaps one of the other characters, we're going to hear, what's that sound? Oh, wah, 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 wah. Okay, y'all can laugh at me. All right, so now we want to add some more customized sounds. So Alyssa, I want you to go back to the music library. And let's go to one of the sound waves. And if some of you don't know what the sound waves actually look like, that we actually will be bringing in a little bit of the sciences, the physics here, along with music. And what I want you to do is tap into that sound wave area. How many of you have taken calculus? Show of hands. How many of you have passed calculus?
I did. Math was my favorite subject, so I passed.
Okay. All right, so this first sound is actually a sine wave. The sine waves are a little more smooth. We can actually change the duration of the waves here. Let's change the duration time to 100 milliseconds. So as we decrease the duration of time, that actually makes the sound move a lot faster. If you were to use more of a saw wave, so select the last wave beside duration. See how it's a lot more choppy there. We have in the middle, select that middle image. So the sawtooth is a more sharply pitched wave, can still have some deepness in the sounds. And we also can change the frequency and volume. So if you're playing around with it, just try to change that sound to your liking. I know there's got to be a few beat makers in here. I know you got to know, how to put your beats together, right? Show of hands, any beat makers in it? No beat makers?
No beat makers in the
house.
Oh
my goodness, that's a first. That's a first. All right, so again, go back to the gaming screen.
And Jacob, can I ask a question?
Yeah.
So you don't need to go to another program, anything else to just edit the sound. You can do all that right there, no code, anything, just as easy as just clicking those buttons and changing duration.
So that's what I love about Make Code. Whether you are in the arts or you are a technologist at heart, this is a great starting point because you can do actually all of this in the Make Code arcade console. So everything from creating your graphics to adding sound, designing your sound, designing your backgrounds. And although it's not, it's more pixelated, this is the base point of where you would have to start when you're creating your most advanced games and getting into more of like 3D modeling and animation.
Yeah, I mean, anything that you create, you start with, certain versions to get the basics and things right. And then you go to those high fidelities, those more polished. So, it's almost by design, the pixelation. So you're not so focused on those finer details at this moment of your actual development.
Exactly, and that's the importance of the blocks. So the blocks and actually seeing them visually and breaking them down that way and seeing in a visual aspect how the code works and then being able to align that with how the JavaScript is written too. Right. It helps you retain that information. Images can really make information like that stick.
Jacoby, before you continue, for those that just joining us, I want to do a reminder for your chance to win this exclusive Xbox Series X. Can we get a round of applause for how fire this Xbox is? To compete for the prize, we want you to answer this question, drop it in the chat. How would you change the world through STEM or gaming? Make sure you use the hashtag Wakanda Forever, put in your name, where you're from, and shout out the school that you're from.
All right, I actually have a question now for Q.
Oh.
All right. How do art forms infuse and flow into technology? How do you see that?
Well, since you've been talking about music, music plays a huge role in games. Like there are a lot of y'all play games. There's iconic like Mario music, right? Like there's the regular level music. There's music that across every game of the series, like the lava level is going to sound the same from like the first Super Mario Brothers to like the ones today. And like in the same way that music can build suspense in a movie, like you hear an ominous soundtrack come on, like that's an indicator a lot of times in games when you're about to have like a boss battle or something intense is about to happen. A lot of games that are narrative heavy, like the characters will be really well written. And there's like motion capture in the same way that in movies, if a movie is heavy CGI, they have the mocap and then you can find videos online of the actors doing that motion capture. You can find the same for games that have a really defined script and like storyline to them. Level design and all those different things are a part of like art that goes into putting a game together.
You mentioned mocap for people that don't know.
Motion capture.
Yeah,
so like when the actors have those little balls.
Well, because before y'all continue, I gotta tell y'all that some of these answers are coming in hot for the Xbox. So,
okay, Jules. Okay, so what do you got for us?
All right. So first one is I would program a drone robot to provide Wi-Fi to communities that don't have it.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
Give a round of applause for whoever said that.
Another person said they'd create an environmental game to teach folks how to take care of our earth.
Wow. Okay.
And then the last one I saw is I would build a queen game so all girls can see themselves as royalty.
There we go. How about that for these coming in? Somebody need to get them at Howard University and get them here, right? But Q, you was telling us about motion capture.
Yeah, it's like the process where actors are in like those little skin tight suits and have little balls and stuff on there, so you can do like overlay of CGI. So we basically capture the actors' facial expressions and things like that. Voice acting is also a huge part of the games industry. There's a lot of jobs there. Actually, well, I could go on a tangent.
So I'm gonna make sure you drive it home for
Yeah,
people.
yeah.
So when we see, you know, characters doing something in games that may have come from an actor in the skin side too.
Yeah, depending on the game. I think The Last of Us is one of the games that has done that before. At the very least, if the character has a lot of dialogue, there's been a voice actor who's captured those lines, like even if the character is just rendered from.
And what about some of the games where we see characters like dancing? Like, is that something that probably came from a more? Because I just don't understand how the characters can dance better than the humans. You know what I mean? So.
I think it depends. It can come from it. It really depends on the game and I guess how the designers are approaching it. Because a lot of things you can do with 3D modeling and just with like creating the art yourself. And then there are times where they go for a more realistic experience and they can do mocap or like capture people's different movements and things like that.
Got it. Okay. All right. Professor Colby, why don't you continue, please?
I think you pretty much covered it all. Like, well, so I'll just speak about my experience and how I got into it. And I was actually inspired really by the automotive industry. When I first got here, there was a man by the name of Edward Welburn that walked onto campus. He actually was a graduate of Howard University, and he really has inspired my career. I got into electronic studio because of him. I went to a ceremony where they gave him an award, and at that time, I learned that Edward Welburn was the only African American to ever hold an executive position in the automotive industry.
Wow.
But what blew my mind away was he graduated from Howard University with a degree in sculpture. So I was trying to like piece this together, like how can someone with a degree in sculpture, really get out here and change the world and help design a car line like the Saturn car line. And you're in an industry that's, from our eyes is seen as dominated by people with an engineering background.
Right.
So when I started to ask myself those questions, I knew I had a creative side and I knew I had an engineering background, and I wanted to pattern myself after Edward Welburn. So,
and you told me an interesting story one day. So Edward, you said degree in sculpture.
Yep.
And those people at GM now call themselves?
So they call them digital sculptors.
So these are people who do what?
They actually design the cars that we're riding in every day, from Cadillacs to Buicks, GMC. They're designing those cars, and now I have the privilege of teaching our students in 3D modeling and animation how to actually design in that way as well.
So help us understand what is actually 3D modeling, animation, how does it correlate to what we saw here today?
All right, so everyone thinks about 3D modeling, as an end result. Like, a lot of people will tie it to gaming, or they may tie it to CGI in films. But 3D modeling and animation is an art form that builds on top of everything. So I teach my students, we start with sketching images, and we use Maya, Autodesk Maya, that's free for students. So if you're out there and you want to get into this, this program is free for students if you go to the Autodesk site. And when my students are sketching, I ask them to sketch from an inspiration standpoint. Like, sometimes we'll start with nothing, You know, there'll be like no design criteria. Sometimes I'll turn on different forms of music and let the music inspire them, from listening to jazz, to rock, to hip hop, and I'll just ask them to draw. And you know, every week we try to find our inspiration, and you take those images then, so they're generally 2D images, and then I ask them to envision, you know, what they would look like in a 3D space. So then we draw it again, and then we draw it again. And then we take those various sets of drawings and we enter them into Maya, into image planes, and that's where the fun begins. You know, we start with primitive objects like spheres and cylinders and cubes, and we actually then start to form our models. Sometimes we're working with characters. The students have really become great at designing cars. You know, so as I stated before, a lot of times we start, you know, when you hear 3D modeling, you always think about the end product, but there's so many other things along the way that actually make it, you know, an art form in itself.
And we just talked about 3D modeling as it kind of relates to video games, but what are some of those other end products? I guess the cars as well. Where else is this? We see this.
Architecture is a big space. Architecture and interior design. We actually have an interior design program here in the Chadwick A. Boseman College of Fine Arts. Being able to design interior spaces as 3D models is becoming more and more popular when you think about the subject matters of extended reality. And let's not forget metaverse. You know, that's a hot topic right now. So architecture is a big space for this right now. Fashion design is becoming, you know, really big for 3D modeling and animation, and that the metaverse has set that topic on fire, and people are really trying to design art that can live in a 3D virtual extended reality world. So those are just a few, but you know, it's also being embedded into educational programs in the form of mixed reality. So you have some elementary, middle, and high schools that are now going to a mixed reality format since we've started learning online from the pandemic, and it became by force and not by choice. You know, some schools are stepping out and actually jumping into mixed reality a lot, and I know that's an area that Microsoft dominates, and you know, pretty hefty.
Yeah, and the 3D modeling animation courses you teach, am I correct that it's the only one somewhere?
I believe that is correct. That you know, we're the only HBCU that has a robust program like this in 3D modeling and animation, and a lot of people would like to think that that only began when these topics of extended reality and the metaverse became popular. But you know, as far as I know, 20 plus years ago we were doing it, and I think we actually were doing it you know, long before then. So Howard definitely was the fine arts department definitely has been a pioneer in that space, and we look to continue that.
Definitely. Let's give a round of applause for the Howard Fine Arts Department, Jacoby's class. So, Jacoby, is there more that the students want to show us, or?
No. So, you know, as they were showing earlier, how to, you know, actually do various controls. We want to, everyone that's joining us online and in the audience, we want you to continue to develop your games and share with us. Again, share your games online via social media, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, and tag them with the hashtag Wakanda Forever, so that we can see what you're actually creating.
Yes, thank you. aka.ms/Wakanda to access the Make Code curriculum. Let's not forget
that's correct.
that. And do we have our winner for the Xbox? Is that?
So we have an exciting update. So basically, there's so many answers pouring in. We want to give folks a little bit more time.
Okay.
To announce the winner at a later date.
All right, sounds great. So keep dropping in those answers to the questions. How would you use technology to change the world? And we're going to announce a winner of this limited edition Xbox Series X. So with that said, Professor Jacoby, Q, thank you all for being here today. Thank you all in the crowd. Who learned how to code a game today? Raise your hand. Okay, all right, I see a few people. Okay, all right. But hey, before we get all the way out of here, I like to encourage everyone to continue to support the A in STEAM, and especially the Chadwick A. Boseman College of Fine Arts. I urge all my fellow corporate partners to lean in specifically to this college. Let's not get it twisted. We wouldn't even be here today celebrating such an amazing film if it wasn't for this college, its leaders, and the amazing actor that once graced this very stage. With that said, we also need to build a very, very strong pipeline of future leaders even before they make it into the halls of this college. In order to do that, we must continue to ensure our nonprofits and our community-based organizations that are educating our youth in STEM and art have all that they need to be successful. So for all you nonprofits supporting the Black and African American communities, please join Microsoft's Tech Acceleration Program, providing software grants and access to dedicated Microsoft engineers like some of my colleagues seated here today, plus unlimited training and curriculum at aka.ms/NTA. Today was a monumental moment, so I would love to thank everyone at Team Xbox, Kumar, Marcos, Mindy. I really appreciate y'all, the entire Mako team, too many to name, but y'all came together like the Avengers. Our amazing production team, and last but not certainly least, A.D. Saunders, Dean Rashad, Professor Jacoby, and the entire faculty and staff here at the Chadwick A. Boseman College of Fine Arts. Thanks again to everyone here and watching online. Folks, the future is in the palm of your hands, and you're capable of achieving your wildest dreams. Wakanda forever. Very good. That was good, that was good, that was good, that was good.
Cute.